Hey guys, I'm back to do yet another one of my character reviews. Um, like I mentioned in my last video, this time the characters that my friend and I are reviewing are Grumpy from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Kiara from The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. I did, my friend did his Grumpy video day before yesterday. I did mine the day before that, and he did his Kiara video a few days before that. And I'm here today to do my Kiara video. I've got the list of complaints that fans usually have about her. I'm a little surprised at some of them. Some of them, even though I think they're really stupid, I can't say that I'm surprised about them. Anyway, The Lion King 2 is definitely one of the more popular Disney sequels and seems to get less hate than a lot of them. I personally think it's better than the first movie, than the first Lion King movie. And Kiara is actually my favorite character from the Lion King franchise and one of my favorite Disney heroines. But, some of the complaints about her I can kind of see. Others, especially the two at the end, are pretty pathetic. Anyway, she's a spoiled brat, she's ungrateful, she's annoying, she's stupid, she's rude, she's a bad role model, she's bland and boring, she's immature, reckless, and irresponsible, she's a Mary Sue, she's a sequel character, and prepare yourselves, she's not a boy. Okay. Starting with, she's a spoiled brat. She does behave in a way that I suppose someone might be seen as bratty if she didn't have a reason for behaving that way. But I think that it's more that she's frustrated with her dad. Personally, while I do personally like the character of Simba, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the Disney sequel parents are victims of bad writing. I mean, even Ariel. I mean, if you look at Ariel, yeah, she had a reason for being overprotective of Melody, but because she was almost killed by Morgana, but keeping it, keeping it a secret for her, from her for her entire life and keeping her locked inside the palace. That's definitely bad writing. Just so that Melody would have a reason to be mad at her mother. If you look at Tramp in Lady and the Tramp 2, him kept keeping his life as a stray dog a secret from Scamp because he was afraid that Scamp would want to become a stray and want to find it fascinating and want to live on the streets. I don't know. Just so that they would have a reason that he and Scamp would be angry at each other and that Scamp would want to run away. And the same is true of Simba. I mean, yeah, he remembers that he and Nala did reckless things as children and nearly got themselves killed, but it's barely brushed over, and he either watches her like a hawk himself or sends Timon and Pumbaa out as, like, nannies constantly, and, to babysit her while she's on her first hunt. So, while she does behave in a way that would be bratty if she didn't have a reason, I think that it's more her being frustrated with Simba not letting her have any independence, and both of them kind of falling victim to bad writing. That's always been my personal opinion about it. I mean, as I've mentioned in numerous videos, if you want to see a spoiled brat, watch Jessie. Which, thank goodness, is now entering its final season. Thank goodness. She's ungrateful. Like I just mentioned, while she might come across as being ungrateful, I think it's more frustration. The only time that I would say she's truly ungrateful is like when Kovu saves her, and she basically throws a fit about it, and I was doing just fine. You shouldn't have saved me. That's the only time I'd say that she's ungrateful. And yeah, that part always kind of bothered me, but I wouldn't let a moment, a bad moment ruin a character for you. I mean, other than that, it's pretty much just her, all the rest of her supposed ungrateful moments are her arguing with her father and telling him to, treat her like an adult, or telling Timon and Pumbaa to leave her alone, and that sort of thing. So, I wouldn't say that she's so much ungrateful as frustrated and wants to be treated like an adult. I mean, if you look at, of course, she doesn't get a whole lot of interaction with her mother, but, if you look at the way that she interacts with, like, Kovu and Nala, her interactions with them are a lot different than with Simba, because they respect her and treat her like an adult. She's annoying. As I've mentioned in a ton of videos, annoying's very much in the eye of the beholder, and it's very subjective. Personally, I've never found her annoying. The only annoying time I'd say she had is that what one scene where she's throwing a fit at Kovu for saving her, but all characters have their annoying moments. I mean, heck, even my favorite characters like Scrooge, Minnie, Webby, Grumpy, Miss Piggy, all of my favorite characters have their annoying moments, but I wouldn't... hating a character because they've got a couple of annoying moments, you might as well hate practically every character in existence. I mean, yeah, there are some characters that I'm not crazy about, because they have more than their share of annoying moments, like, Flynn Rider from Tangled. To me, his humor is very forced, and, he acts like such a snob all through the movie. He has more than his share of annoying moments, which, is enough to make me dislike him. But, I don't really see how, I don't really see that as the case with Kiara. But, if you find her annoying, that's your opinion, and I'm not gonna try to force you to like her. She's stupid. More like, immature, inexperienced, naive, I'd say. As I've mentioned with, many, many young characters, I don't understand why so many people think that young, inexperienced characters that don't know much about the world, how that automatically makes them stupid. By that standard, all kids and young people are stupid. And also, making arguably stupid decisions does not equal a stupid character. We all make stupid decisions, so by that standard, we're all stupid. You have to take into consideration, she's been very sheltered her entire life. She's been dealing with an overprotective father her entire life, who really hasn't let her have any experience. She's had Timon and Pumbaa act as her nanny and everything, so you wouldn't expect her to know much about the world. I mean, it's like I mentioned in my Snow White video. Her being a little too nice to the creepy looking old woman, and letting her in, and taking the apple from her. She hadn't had much life experience. She had lived in the castle her whole life, so she trusted pretty much everybody. I mean, she thought that the woman was having a heart attack, and when the woman offered so she was trying to help her, and then when the woman offered her an apple, she did it to be polite. That's pretty much what you have going for you with Kiara. I mean, she does do, I guess, some arguably stupid things, like, trusting Kovu immediately, even though, he's an outlander who her father has warned her against and that sort of thing, then, running away from home. But, I kind of chalk that up to more her immaturity and lack of life experience, and being sheltered her whole life. She's rude. She has her rude moments, don't we all? The only time that I'd say that she's really rude, again, is when she gets mad at Kovu for saving her. The rest of the time, I'd say it's more trying to... Excuse me. I'd say it's more just trying to stand up for herself and, tell her father that she, doesn't want to be treated like a kid anymore, or a cub anymore. I'd say she's more outspoken than rude. In my opinion. Yeah, she does have her rude moments. But, every person does. So, I mean, I'm not going to dislike a character just because they've got some rude moments. She's a bad role model. Well, while she may not be the ideal role model, since she's more of a reckless, immature teenager type, or at least she starts out that way, she may not be the ideal role model. I also wouldn't say that she's the worst one. Since she's got a very similar personality to a lot of the, more modern Disney heroes and heroines. So, I mean, in that sense, they're all really bad role models. I mean, she starts off as very reckless and immature, and, then learns her lesson and grows more mature. So, I mean, if you're talking about her being reckless and immature and, running away from home and, befriending people that, are possibly dangerous and that her parents have warned her about, then yeah, I wouldn't say that that's the ideal role model, but, but, I mean, in that sense, none of the modern Disney heroes and heroines are good role models, since they all have a pretty similar personality. I mean, I wouldn't say that she's as good a role model as, like, some of the classic ones that are, like, Snow White or Cinderella, that are, pretty close to flawless and were obviously intended to be role models, but there are far worse ones than Kiara. As I mentioned earlier, the kids in Jessie. The original Tinkerbell from the Peter Pan franchise that goes around trying to kill girls that she's jealous of. The original Scrooge McDuck that whose only satisfaction is making more money and drags his friends into danger without giving a frick about their safety. I'd say that there are much worse role models than Kiara. So, no, I wouldn't say that she's a bad role model. Probably not the ideal one, but not a bad one. She's bland and boring. How? While she does have a pretty similar personality to a lot of the modern Disney heroes and heroines, which can get old after a while, I think that they did a pretty good job, and I can see why that does bother people, because it gets pretty old on me after a while. I think that they did a pretty good job of giving her some unique twists on her personality. I wouldn't call her an uber-complex character, but she's definitely got some depth to her. And, I mean, how can a character that goes on the adventures that she goes on be bland and boring? She's immature, reckless, and immature. She's immature, reckless, and irresponsible, excuse me. Yeah. So, those are her flaws. What, did you want them to make her a Mary Sue? Because I've got another complaint about that down there. Why is it when, characters have flaws that, are intended to be, that are intended to make them human-like and relatable, people complain about those, but when they're pretty much flawless, people complain about them being Mary Sue's? I've never understood that. Yeah, she definitely has her flaws. But and if you don't like a character with flaws, then, if you don't like her because of that, then you pretty much must hate all characters with flaws. Because she definitely matures through the movie and, pretty much grows out of them. So, I really don't see this as being a valid complaint, because, or a valid reason to dislike her, because in that sense, you must hate all characters with flaws. She's a Mary Sue. If she's immature, reckless, and irresponsible, how the frick is she a Mary Sue? that word gets tossed around more than anything. What it's supposed to mean is a character with few to no flaws. And obviously, I just listed her flaws. She's immature, reckless, and irresponsible, so she's by no means a Mary Sue. Although she's not. This isn't the dumbest. This isn't the only flawed character or the one with the most flaws that I've heard it used on. I actually a couple of days ago heard an argument that, get ready, Uncle Scrooge is a Mary Sue. I bet everybody's laughing at that. I think what they meant with that was, he had it too easy because, he's rich or something like that. But anyway, back to Kiara. Obviously, that's an invalid complaint, because she's, by no means a Mary Sue. And, of course, she's a sequel character. I've gone over this one, I've gone over this one plenty of times, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it. I personally love The Lion King too, but even if you hate it, why the frick do you have to hate a character out of it? Why? Like I've mentioned in my other reviews, there are plenty of movies and shows that I don't like, that I do like characters out of. Like when when I rewatched Tangled, I realized that I actually do kind of like the character of Mother Gothel in it. I think that she's a pretty good villain. I still do not care for the movie. I dislike the movie. And I'm neutral about Rapunzel, and I hate Flynn Rider, but I actually do kind of like Gothel because I think she's a good villain, but so if there's a movie or a TV show or whatever that you dislike, that's not a really a valid reason to hate all of the characters in it. And moving on to definitely the dumbest complaint of all, she's not a boy. I just had to laugh at that. Okay. I definitely don't consider myself a feminist in the sense that I see something sexist everywhere. Like, oh, Minnie is sexist because she was made to be arm candy for Mickey originally, or Scrooge is sexist because he's a male character that happens to be wealthy, or something like that. I do consider myself a feminist in that I want equality for women, which we already have, and I want women to be strong and independent and be able to stand on their own 2 feet. But I have to say that this is a very, very, very sexist complaint. Anytime anybody who bases if they like a character or not by what gender it is very sexist. I don't care whether it's a woman saying that they won't like a character that's male, or a man saying that they won't like a character that's female. That right there is sexist. And extremely stupid and very invalid. And that's all I have to say about it. And that's all that I have to say about the complaints about Kiara. Anyway, I personally like Kiara a lot. She's one of my favorite Disney heroines. She's obviously not uber complex, but she's got a lot of depth to her, and I think that she's a much better character than Nala, who it was basically just there to be a love interest for Simba. The links to my first video and my friend's 2 videos will be in the comments section below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye, see you next time.